Ready to get spooked? Horror games are evolving like never before, and in 2024, they're taking scares to a whole new level. Whether it's lurking monsters, mind-bending psychological terror, or a simple jump scare that has you tossing your controller, there's something for every horror fan. And the best part? The latest batch of horror games isn't just about gore and shadows. They're filled with deep storytelling, immersive gameplay, and yes, even a few moments that'll make you laugh nervously before something grabs you from behind. Don't worry, I've got you covered with the best of the best. 13 great new horror games you absolutely cannot miss. And hey, these are totally worth every penny. Grab your flashlight because things are about to get terrifying. Welcome back to Retro Pocket. If you enjoy what you see, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more amazing content. Silent Hill 2 Remake. Silent Hill 2 is back, and it's scarier than ever. This 2023 remake of the iconic 2001 classic isn't just a facelift, it's a full-on reconstruction, bringing psychological horror to modern consoles with jaw-dropping visuals and updated gameplay. You play as James Sunderland, a man searching for his deceased wife after receiving a mysterious letter from her. What follows is a deep, disturbing journey into a fog-covered town where reality warps and your darkest fears come to life. Spoiler alert, it doesn't end well for anyone. Gameplay-wise, the remake takes the slow burn tension of the original and cranks it up with modern mechanics. The combat is more fluid, puzzles have been reimagined to keep even seasoned players guessing, and the AI is smarter. Trust me, Pyramid Head feels even more relentless. The atmosphere, pure dread. Every step feels heavy, every shadow hides something unsettling, and the soundtrack will have your heart racing even in the quiet moments. It's a game that doesn't rely on jump scares but digs into your psyche, making you question what's real. The reception has been overwhelmingly positive, with both longtime fans and newcomers praising the game's fidelity to the original while embracing modern tech. If you thought the original was terrifying, just wait until you experience this version. Fun fact, Akira Yamaoka, the composer of the original, returned to score the remake, and his haunting melodies will send chills down your spine all over again.
It's horrible.
I don't want to make hasty decisions that get everyone killed. No! We should stay put right here until dawn.
Until Dawn Remake. Back in 2019, Until Dawn redefined interactive horror with its butterfly effect choices and cinematic style. Now, the 2024 remake is here to make sure you experience that terror all over again with a few upgrades. This choice-based horror game throws you and a group of teens into a secluded mountain lodge where, naturally, things go terribly wrong. What could go wrong with creepy minds, supernatural entities, and enough teen drama to fill a soap opera? The remake improves upon the original's graphics, making those creepy close-ups of panicked faces even more chilling. But it's not just about looks. The decision-making system has been overhauled with more subtle choices leading to bigger consequences. Every choice you make can mean life or death for these characters, and yes, your favorite ones can still die in the worst ways possible. The tension is real, and the replay value, endless. With multiple endings, you'll want to save or sacrifice different characters each time. The remake is praised for tightening up some of the original's more awkward controls, making it easier to immerse yourself in the horror. The motion capture is spot on, bringing even more realism to the performances, especially when the fear kicks in. Fun fact, the developers actually used a new motion capture system to improve the facial expressions, so when a character's scared, you'll feel it. Directive 2080. Welcome to the near future, where corporations rule and technology might just be your worst nightmare. Directive 2080 drops you into a dystopian world where an AI has gone rogue, turning a state-of-the-art research facility into a death trap. You're part of an elite team sent to investigate, but, surprise, nothing goes as planned, and soon you're fighting for survival against the very technology designed to protect you. The game mixes survival horror with action, forcing you to use everything at your disposal to navigate through a labyrinth of deadly machines, traps, and, oh yeah, an AI that's playing mind games with you the entire time. The environments are eerily sterile but filled with a sense of impending doom, making you feel claustrophobic as you try to outsmart both the AI and its mechanical minions. What makes Directive 2080 stand out is its psychological horror twist. The AI taunts you, learning from your actions and making sure you never feel safe. Reception has been positive, with players praising the balance between action and tension. The game doesn't overload you with ammo or supplies, so every encounter feels like a life or death situation. Fun fact, the AI's dialogue was partially written using machine learning, making its taunts feel unsettlingly unpredictable. A Quiet Place, The Road Ahead. If you thought the A Quiet Place films were tense, just wait until you're in the driver's seat. The Road Ahead is a stealth-based horror game set in the same universe as the movies, where any noise can bring the monstrous creatures down on you. Playing as a new group of survivors, your goal is simple: stay alive and stay quiet. Easier said than done when even the tiniest misstep can attract a horde of creatures faster than you can blink. The gameplay revolves around careful exploration, scavenging for supplies, and, of course, stealth. The creatures are blind but have hypersensitive hearing, so you'll need to use your environment wisely. The game brilliantly incorporates sound into the mechanics. Too much noise and you're toast. It's nerve-wracking, especially when you have to make a choice between grabbing that extra ammo or avoiding creaky floorboards. A Quiet Place. The Road Ahead was appreciated for its intense atmosphere and faithful adaptation of the film's core concept. The feeling of vulnerability is constant, and the creature's AI is unforgiving. It's been hailed as one of the best movie-to-game adaptations in recent years. The game uses 3D sound to enhance the immersion, making every rustle of leaves or gust of wind feel like it's happening around you.
It's close.
Dying Light: The Beast. Zombies, parkour, and a ticking clock sounds familiar, right? But Dying Light: The Beast takes the formula from its predecessors and dials everything up to 11. Set in a sprawling open world, this 2024 entry drops you into a city overrun by a new, more aggressive breed of infected known as the Beast. And trust me, these aren't your average shuffling zombies. These guys are faster, stronger, and deadlier, making every run for supplies feel like a high-stakes sprint for survival. The game keeps the signature parkour system intact, letting you scale buildings, leap across rooftops, and zip line through the city while dodging both human and infected enemies. But with the Beast on your tail, the sense of danger is cranked up a notch. The day-night cycle returns, and as always, night brings the worst out of the infected. You'll want to be extra careful when the sun goes down, because these creatures hunt in packs, and trust me, they're fast. Dying Light. The Beast has been praised for its intense, heart-pounding gameplay and incredibly detailed environments. The verticality of the city makes exploration fun and terrifying at the same time. The addition of new combat mechanics and more sophisticated AI makes encounters with enemies feel more dynamic than ever. The game's world is 3 times larger than the previous Dying Light, giving you more freedom and more danger than ever before. Alien Rogue Incursion. If you thought the Alien franchise couldn't get any scarier, think again. Alien Rogue Incursion puts you right back into the nightmare with a survival horror experience that's all about cat and mouse gameplay. Except you're the mouse, and the xenomorph is smarter than ever. Set aboard a derelict spaceship deep in space, you play as a lone survivor trying to escape an alien threat that seems to know your every move. It's tense, terrifying, and filled with moments where you'll wonder if you even want to keep playing. But you will. The gameplay revolves around stealth and resource management. You'll have to scavenge for supplies to craft tools and weapons, while keeping one eye on the shadows for the xenomorph. The game's AI is what makes it stand out. The xenomorph adapts to your playstyle, learning from your decisions and changing its tactics to keep you on edge. Think you're safe hiding in that locker? Think again. It remembers. Critics have praised Alien Rogue Incursion for its brilliant use of tension, with some calling it the scariest Alien game to date. The immersive sound design, paired with dynamic lighting, and claustrophobic level design keeps the dread alive from start to finish. The developers used real marine biologists as consultants to make the xenomorphs' hunting patterns feel more authentic. Turns out, science can make things even more terrifying. Reanimal. Now, this one is just weird, in the best way possible. Reanimal is a psychological horror game that blends body horror with supernatural elements in a way that will leave you questioning reality. You play as a scientist involved in a secret experiment to merge human consciousness with animal forms, but, shocker, things go horribly wrong. The result? You're trapped in a twisted world where creatures that are part human, part animal hunt you down, and your mind begins to unravel. The gameplay in Reanimal is a mix of exploration, stealth, and puzzle solving. The world is divided into surreal, distorted environments that shift and change as your character's sanity deteriorates. One minute you're sneaking through an eerie forest filled with animal-human hybrids, the next you're in a twisted laboratory where nothing makes sense. The enemies in this game are grotesque, with designs that'll stick with you long after you turn the console off. The game's horror comes from its unsettling atmosphere and grotesque visuals rather than outright jump scares. The twisted creature designs and mind-bending narrative have received high praise from critics. It's a slow burn, but the kind of horror that gnaws at you rather than hitting you all at once. The game's creatures were designed by a team of former Silent Hill artists, so you can imagine the level of nightmare fuel involved. Hey, if you're enjoying the video so far, don't forget to smash that like button. And while you're at it, hit subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss out on our latest awesome content. John Carpenter Toxic Commando. Horror legend John Carpenter, lending his name to a game? You already know this one's going to be special. Toxic Commando is a co-op, first-person shooter where you and your friends take on hordes of mutant creatures in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. The setup is simple. You're part of a commando unit tasked with containing an outbreak of toxic mutants, but the execution? Pure chaotic fun. The gameplay is fast-paced and action-packed, with an emphasis on teamwork. You'll have to strategize with your squad, combining different weapons and abilities to survive the waves of enemies. Think of it as a mix between Left 4 Dead and Call of Duty Zombies, with a healthy dose of B-movie charm thrown in. Carpenter's influence is all over the game, from the over-the-top mutant designs to the dark humor that cuts through the tension. Critics have applauded John Carpenter Toxic Commando for its tight, cooperative gameplay and the sheer joy of mowing down hordes of grotesque creatures. The game doesn't take itself too seriously, but that's part of the appeal. It's all about having a blast while blasting away. John Carpenter not only lent his name to the game, but also contributed to the soundtrack, which is filled with synth-heavy tracks reminiscent of his classic film scores. Little Nightmares 3. If you've played Little Nightmares before, you know exactly what kind of twisted, unsettling horror you're in for. Little Nightmares 3 continues the franchise's tradition of turning childhood fears into terrifying, nightmarish landscapes. This time, you control two new protagonists as they navigate through a world of oversized, grotesque creatures, all while trying to survive in a place that feels like it came straight out of your darkest dreams. The gameplay focuses on puzzle solving, stealth, and platforming. The atmosphere is thick with tension, and the world itself feels like it's alive, constantly shifting to trap you in increasingly terrifying situations. The horror here doesn't rely on gore or jump scares, but on the creeping dread of being small in a world filled with monsters much larger than you. The dual protagonist system allows for more complex puzzles, as you'll need to coordinate both characters to progress. Little Nightmares 3 has been praised for its stunning art direction and its ability to create a truly oppressive atmosphere. Each environment is beautifully crafted, but also deeply disturbing. And the creatures? Let's just say you'll be seeing them in your nightmares. Fun fact, the game's developers revealed that some of the creature designs were inspired by traditional European folklore, adding an extra layer of creepy authenticity to the already haunting world.
When you have to face evil, fear is not an option.
The Occultist. If occult rituals, ancient curses, and dark mysteries are your thing, The Occultist is the game you've been waiting for. First-person psychological horror game puts you in the shoes of a young investigator who uncovers a series of grisly murders tied to a secret cult. The deeper you dig, the more you realize you're not just investigating the supernatural, you're becoming part of it. The gameplay mixes exploration, puzzle solving, and stealth as you investigate haunted locations, avoid malevolent entities, and try to piece together the mystery before you become the next victim. One of the standout features is the game's use of ritual-based magic, where you can perform occult rituals to either protect yourself or manipulate the environment. But beware, dabbling in the occult comes with its own risks, and the more you use it, the more the dark forces close in on you. Critics have praised The Occultist for its atmospheric world-building and unsettling tension, which keeps you on edge even when nothing is actively happening. The visuals are hauntingly beautiful, with eerie lighting and disturbing creature designs. Fun fact, the game's lore was inspired by real-world occult texts, with many of the rituals in the game based on actual historical practices. Creepy, right? The Sinking City 2. After the success of the original The Sinking City, the sequel takes you back into the mind-bending world of cosmic horror, blending Lovecraftian themes with open-world exploration. Set in the 1930s, you play as a detective investigating the strange happenings in the waterlogged city of Oakmont, which is once again overrun by eldritch horrors. But here's the twist. Your character is slowly losing their mind, and the more you uncover, the closer you get to madness. The gameplay retains the detective elements of the first game, but with more refined mechanics. You'll still gather clues, interrogate suspects, and piece together the mystery, but now there's an added layer of psychological horror as your sanity deteriorates over time. The more you witness the horrors of Oakmont, the more your vision warps, and reality itself becomes unstable, making it harder to tell what's real and what's not. The reception has been solid, with fans of the first game praising the deeper lore, improved gameplay, and more polished graphics. The open-world design allows for more exploration, and the atmosphere is dripping with dread and mystery. Fun fact, the game features a madness meter, and depending on how high it gets, your character's hallucinations can actually alter the game's environment, adding another layer of unpredictability. Tormented Souls 2. Survival horror fans, rejoice. Tormented Souls 2 is here to scratch that old school itch. This game takes heavy inspiration from the classic Resident Evil and Silent Hill games of the PS1 era, with fixed camera angles, limited resources, and a creepy atmosphere that makes every dark corner feel like a threat. Set in a haunted mansion, you play as Caroline Walker, a woman searching for her missing sister while uncovering the mansion's dark, twisted secrets. The gameplay sticks to the survival horror roots, with puzzle-solving, limited ammo, and intense combat against grotesque monsters. One wrong move and you're done for. The game's fixed camera angles add a layer of tension, as you never know what's lurking just out of sight. While the combat is slow and deliberate, it forces you to plan your actions carefully. Run, fight, or flee. Critics have lauded Tormented Souls 2 for sticking to its retro-inspired roots, while polishing up the experience for modern audiences. The puzzles are intricate but rewarding, and the mansion is filled with dark secrets waiting to be uncovered. The developers admitted that many of the game's puzzles were inspired by escape room mechanics, making the challenge even more immersive.
It's here all around us, but we cannot see it. I wonder what's out there. Eternal spring? The Klondike of artifacts? A new home? Or our heart's desire?
Stalker, head of Chernobyl. Stalker is back, and it's more dangerous than ever. Stalker, head of Chernobyl, thrusts you into the deadly radioactive wastelands of the Chernobyl exclusion zone, where mutants, bandits, and anomalies make every step a potential death sentence. But this isn't just another post-apocalyptic shooter. It's a deep, atmospheric survival horror experience where every decision matters. You'll need to manage your resources, watch your health, and make alliances if you want to survive. The game features a massive open world filled with dangerous factions, deadly creatures, and strange anomalies that defy the laws of physics. Exploration is key, but every step you take could be your last. The horror comes not only from the mutated creatures that hunt you, but also from the eerie, desolate atmosphere of the exclusion zone itself. Radiation sickness, hallucinations, and creeping dread are constant companions on your journey. Fans have praised Head of Chernobyl for its intense atmosphere and challenging gameplay, calling it one of the most immersive survival horror experiences in years. The open world is richly detailed, with dynamic weather systems and day-night cycles that make every playthrough feel unique. Fun fact, the game's anomalies are based on real scientific phenomena, like gravitational lensing and magnetic fields, adding an extra layer of authenticity to the supernatural horrors you face. And there you have it, 13 horror games that'll keep you up at night, questioning your life choices. Whether you're battling mutants, navigating twisted realities, or just trying to stay quiet so the monsters don't hear you, these games prove that horror is more than just jump scares. They dive deep into our fears, testing our survival instincts and challenging our sanity. The great part? Each game brings its own unique flavor to the table, so there's something for every horror fan out there. From psychological horror to fast-paced action, the only thing left to do is grab a controller and dive in, if you're brave enough. Alright, horror fans, if you enjoyed getting spooked with me, don't forget to smash that like button. Got a favorite game from the list or one you think should have made it? Drop it in the comments below. I'm always up for more horror recommendations. And hey, if you're not already, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss any of our terrifying new content.